Hello my friend, today I will tell you about the legendary and unique fighter Jon Jones. I'll tell you about his dark side, how Jon Jones almost ruined his career and ended up behind bars. Let's get started, and before you start, I recommend that you subscribe to the channel, as it will be even more interesting from now on. Drove into a pole on a Bentley on March 19, 2011, Jon Jones became the youngest champion of the Dana White promotion, scoring Brazilian Mauricio Rua with his knees at UFC 128. He was not yet 24 years old, but he already became the owner of the belt in the world's leading organization. Now Jones had to defend the title, show spectacular performances and earn millions of dollars. But something went wrong. In May 2012, an intoxicated fighter drove into a pole on his Bentley in New York. Jones escaped with a slight fright, $1,000 fine and deprivation of a driver's license for 6 months. Above all, that no one was injured in the accident, except for the pole, otherwise the athlete could have gone to places not so remote. Crashed into a pregnant girl's car and fled the scene of the crime, but the pillar in New York is just a flower. In April 2015, Jones decided to take a ride in a rented car, but the trip somehow didn't work out. The UFC champion ran a red light, crashed his car and crashed into 2 more vehicles. A pregnant woman was sitting in one of the cars, who broke her arm as a result of the collision. Jones fled the scene of the crime, taking with him a wad of money, but leaving a pipe with marijuana. It is possible that Jon was driving the car with one hand and holding something in the other, relaxing. Witnesses and drivers from both cars claim that the offending driver got out and started running away. The driver is described as a tall black man who rushed to run to the hills immediately after the incident. Witnesses claim that he, the violator, stopped abruptly and returned to the car, from where he pulled out a large wad of money. He stuffed the pack into his pants and ran away again in the direction of the north, jumping over the fence. But the athlete had to answer for his misdeeds. This time Jones was sentenced to 1.5 years of probation under supervision, but he avoided a real term in a criminal case. Boney agreed to do charity work and swore not to break the law anymore. However, even the UFC did not tolerate such behavior of Jones. The promotion's management disqualified the athlete for an indefinite period and stripped him of the light heavyweight belt. Harassed a waitress in a strip club by April 2019, Jones had once again regained his championship belt and even managed to defend it in a fight with Anthony Smith. However, the inner demons did not give Jones rest. While relaxing in a strip club, the fighter slapped the waitress on the soft spot, then put her on his lap and kissed her neck. The girl was not very pleased. She tried to escape, but is it possible to escape from the UFC champion just like that? Jones began to carry out a chokehold, but came to his senses in time and released the victim. Initially, the fighter denied his guilt, but later confessed to what he had done. Another arrest is over. It's pretty mild for Jon. He was asked to avoid problems with the law for 3 months, not to drink alcohol and prohibited substances. Also, the athlete was excommunicated forever from the very strip club where the incident occurred. Driving drunk and shooting in the air. Less than a year later, Jones once again got into trouble. In February 2020, he defended the belt from the encroachments of Dominic Reyes, and in March he was taken into custody. In Las Vegas, a fighter sat in a car without insurance and fired into the air at 1 o'clock in the morning. Most likely, Jones did it under the influence of banned substances. Later, Dana White will say that he is not surprised, and that the champion is strictly forbidden to come to Las Vegas. Too many problems. The culprit did not deny his illegal actions and made a deal with the investigation. Finally, Jones received a year of probation, 2 days of community service and got off with a $500 fine. Also, Boney was obliged to undergo a mandatory 3-month treatment program for drug addiction. At that time, the COVID-19 pandemic was raging on the planet, so Jones took the course remotely. Beat his wife in front of the children and damaged the property of the police on September 21, 2013, at UFC 165 in Toronto. Jones and Alexander Gustafsson staged a grandiose fight, which ended with the victory of the American by a unanimous judicial decision. And in September in 2021, Jon and Alexander were inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. Jones came to the ceremony in Las Vegas. The fighter received a well-deserved prize. Few doubted that that legendary battle would not become part of the legacy, and decided to celebrate this case. Then it started total hell. Jones returned drunk to the room, dragged his common-law wife Jessie Moses by the hair in front of the frightened children, and then beat the girl. Although Jon denied the fact of the beating, Jesse, I went downstairs with the children, where I asked them to call the police. The hotel staff listened, and after some time the police arrived to calm the raging fighter. Law enforcement officers immediately saw Jones, who was walking near the hotel. The police tried to detain the athlete, but the professional fighter tried to resist. He rammed the hood of the car and called the guys in uniform to fight. Jones is very I wanted to find out if he could handle all the cops at the same time. John himself threatened to sue the law enforcement officers, but when his rights were read to him, he burst into tears. The ex-UFC champion spent the night in the precinct. The next day he was released on bail at $8,000. In October 2021, Jones was cleared of the charges. He paid compensation in the amount of $750 and went to anger management courses. This time the fighter suffered not only financially, but also morally. Jesse Moses left the fighter after the incident in Las Vegas, the fighter said on social networks. "If you hate Jon Jones, raise a toast, I feel like shit." Jon Jones has returned after a long downtime to prove once again that he is a real diamond in the harsh world of mixed martial arts. His dark side never left him in rest, although in the last few years, Jones seriously freaked out only in Las Vegas. The rest of the time he was training and gaining muscle mass. Friends, no matter what anyone says, but Jones is a great fighter despite his not uncommon weaknesses. Jon Jones is the greatest of fighters. Friends, well, in the next video I'll tell you who Conor McGregor is and why according to him is the whole planet going crazy. Believe me, it will be interesting. With you varnish and subscription. And don't forget to write in the comments what you think about Jon Jones. Bye.